The change in the air, I know you can feel it, and occupy the hood, liberate your spirit. The people united will never be defeated. Brand new society, you know that we need it. Change in the air, I know you can feel it, and occupy the hood, liberate your spirit. The people united will never be defeated. Brand new society, you know that we need it. They said we were passive, said we ain't care. They thought we were cool with the state of affairs, but little did they know we would rise from sleep. No longer subservient within this beast. A tiny minority controls our lives. That's why the people now screaming occupy. The fight is for genuine
This is the
democracy.
second year that a coalition of groups in Chicago that work on housing rights issues went out on Martin Luther King Day to canvass the neighborhoods, speaking directly to homeowners that are facing foreclosure. Okay, it starts with a database that's created from public sources of houses that have recently come into the foreclosure process.
A lot of families who are going through foreclosure, they're dealing not only with the recession, but their own type of depression. Because a lot of people say, look, say you're a homeowner and you're losing your home. A lot of people take it as a failure on their own part, right? They don't put it in a wider context.
We just left our home where a sister is a tenant. She's been there for over about a year. She's part of Section 8 program. Actually. Oh, 3 years. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So she's part of the Section 8 program, and she was having issues with maintenance from her landlord. He's neglecting the property. He's not taking care of basic needs and maintenance. So on top of that, this landlord is losing the property, so the home is being foreclosed on. So even though she's been consistent with her rent, she no longer has a place to stay. So they've basically given her 30 days notice as to when she's being evicted from the home. So hopefully we can get her out to the meeting. She seemed very interested and passionate about participating.
Like where I was canvassing today, is somewhere that you read about the foreclosures there. You can read about them in national newspapers. Everyone knows that that's the center of a foreclosure crisis. And you know, as a U of C student, I live like 2 miles east of Inglewood, and that's so close that it's almost impossible to not conceive of that as a part of just like the broader urban community that I live in.
That we did on Sunday. We had around 7 groups go out, and we had the same amount of people that were interested, about 2 to 3 people in each group. They would be touching around 10 to 15 houses each. So you're having 2 groups touching 10 to 15 houses each, and we had about, you could say, 17 groups go out. So we'll see what happens in this first meeting. I think this first meeting is going to be a construction meeting to see where we're going. There'll be a paralegal here. Although we don't want to bank on lawyers, we want to bank on ourselves and the power that we can create and the pressure towards the banks.
So what I definitely think is going to come out of this whole effort is this idea of strengthening this awareness, strengthening this idea that this is not something that you have to face alone, and it is much more effective if you don't try to fight it alone.
So when they ask us, what are your plans on enforcing the human right to house, we say, 1, if it takes us putting bodies in front of somebody who's about to be evicted by the sheriff, that's how we're going to begin the process of doing eviction blockades and defending the right to housing. Then if the banks went ahead and put the person out or the sheriff put them out, then we were going to begin the process as the people of the United States to begin to enforce the human right to housing by taking homeless people and matching them up with people's housing, or taking a homeowner and moving them back in their home. And this is how we begin the process of enforcing the human right to housing.
Well, we got a story. What? To tell the whole wide world it's the people's territory.
They like to cite Iran's lack of of rights. But Troy Davis getting killed, that's alright. Guess Georgia's sovereign, Iran is not. Now let us all watch the great imperial plot. Unoccupied Afghanistan, unoccupied Iraq, unoccupied Palestine, unoccupied the block, unoccupied